president generally avoids talking about the conspiracies around January 6th because he doesn't want to add fuel to the fire. I think we've all sort of established that the more you talk about a conspiracy, the more the conspiracy is given air, the larger it becomes. But this was an exception today. He really spoke very forcefully about the insurrection, the violence, the injuries suffered by police, the fear suffered by lawmakers. He says the former president values power over principle, and that he was more concerned with his bruised ego than the US Constitution. So it was a really strong rebuke without using Trump's name of the former president and his involvement in not only the riot itself, but the real strong effort to discredit the 2020 election and to spread misinformation around it. He used words that Trump particularly really hates, the word lost, defeated, failed. These are things that former President Donald Trump does not like to hear or admit. Biden said that, the former president rallied the mob to attack and then did nothing for hours inside the White House while the angry mob raged outside the Capitol. So Trump was supposed to speak today, but he canceled his event. And instead, he sent out a terse statement blaming Biden for a lot of the problems the country has and sort of reiterating the conspiracy theories around the election. It was nothing new from Trump. It's sort of the same playbook he's used to working with. There's been some polling this week, I think, that has shown a lot of Republicans are behind the idea that the election was stolen, which I think is concerning because, all evidence has shown otherwise, including the lawsuits, including, Trump's own cabinet members, his former attorney general. I think Biden's speech did reflect even a little bit of optimism. He still believes that the country can come together. He still believes that he can work with Republicans to, make laws happen and government happen in a way that's beneficial for Americans. I think we saw a little bit of that in the speech. He also really discussed, the need for Americans to accept the reality of what happened and to move on from it. So to recognize the importance of the democracy the US has and, treat it with respect and, the voting, the sort of sacred right of voting, not to take any of that for granted, I think is another sort of piece of the speech.